Imagine being told you must practice piano for hours every single day, starting at age 4. No cartoons, no games, just music. Thus began the life of Beethoven, a brilliant and tormented composer. Today, discover 3 fascinating facts about the life of Ludwig van Beethoven, one of the greatest composers of all time. Fact number 1. Beethoven was a poor boy pushed to greatness. Beethoven was born in 1770 in Bonn, Germany. His family was quite poor. His mother worked as a cook, and she was kind and gentle. Beethoven loved her deeply. She was the warmth in his life. His father, however, was very strict. He struggled with alcohol and had a terrible temper. He dreamed of turning young Ludwig into the next Mozart to make money, so he forced him to practice piano and violin for hours, sometimes even waking him up in the middle of the night to play for visitors. Beethoven was not a child genius like Mozart, but he was talented and incredibly determined. By the age of 12, he had already published his first pieces of music. At 17, he traveled to Vienna and briefly met Mozart. After hearing him play, Mozart reportedly said, "Keep your eyes on him. This young man will make the world talk." And he was right. At 22, Beethoven moved to Vienna permanently to study with great teachers like Joseph Haydn and Antonio Salieri. By 25, he was performing across Europe and impressing aristocrats with his powerful playing. He was becoming famous. But his life was not simple. Beethoven had a fiery personality. He fell in love many times and even proposed marriage to several women, but none of them accepted. In those days, young aristocratic women were expected to marry wealthy noblemen. Beethoven was famous, but he was not noble, and he did not always have steady money. One of the biggest mysteries of his life is a love letter he wrote to someone he called his immortal beloved. No one knows who she was. And then there's Für Elise, one of the most famous piano pieces ever written in 1810. But here is the funny part. Some historians believe it may not have been written for someone named Elise at all. The original manuscript was discovered years later, and Beethoven's handwriting had been damaged by time and was very hard to read. The person studying it may have misread the name. Some experts think it actually said Therese. So it is possible that the real name of the piece was Für Therese. But just as his career was rising, something terrible began to happen. Fact number 2. Beethoven was losing his hearing and hid it. At 26 years old, Beethoven began to lose his hearing. Imagine being a musician and slowly going deaf. He was terrified. He felt ashamed. At one point, he thought he could not live anymore. He felt isolated and hopeless. In a letter, he explained that only his art stopped him from giving up. Music gave him a reason to continue. During this painful time, as his hearing grew worse, he composed one of his most famous pieces, the Moonlight Sonata. The first movement is slow, soft, and deeply melancholic. It feels like a quiet night filled with sadness. Many people say it sounds like darkness slowly taking over the light. The music is emotional and intimate, as if Beethoven were sharing his fears and deepest feelings through the piano. He thus introduced a new romantic style of music, meaning one full of emotion. Even while suffering, he managed to transform his pain into something beautiful. For a long time, Beethoven did not tell people around him that he was going deaf. He believed it was something shameful for a musician. So when he avoided conversations or seemed distant, people thought he disliked others and preferred to be alone. But the truth was different. He was not unfriendly. He was hiding his struggle. And then came the most incredible part of his story. Fact number 3. Beethoven composed masterpieces in total silence. By the age of 49, Beethoven was completely deaf. Completely. And yet, he continued to compose. He felt the vibrations of the piano through the floor. He even removed the legs of his piano so he could better feel the sound. Most importantly, he heard the music in his imagination. Every instrument, every melody, every harmony existed inside his mind. Some of his greatest works were written as his hearing faded and after he became completely deaf. He composed Symphony No. 5 with its famous 4-note dramatic introduction. He later wrote Symphony No. 9, which includes the powerful Ode to Joy. He also completed his only opera, Fidelio, and several of his late piano sonatas, full of bold ideas and deep emotion. Even in silence, his imagination was louder than ever. At the premiere of his 9th symphony, Beethoven stood on stage conducting. When the music ended, the audience erupted into applause. But he could not hear them. One of the singers had to gently turn him around so he could see the cheering crowd. Only then did he realize how much they loved his music. In 1827, at the age of 56, Beethoven died in Vienna. Thousands of people attended his funeral. The poor boy from Bonn, the son of a cook, the child forced to practice for hours, became one of the greatest composers in history. Beethoven's life teaches us something powerful. Your struggles do not decide your limits. He put all his suffering into his music, and by doing so initiated the new Romantic era. He turned pain into beauty and silence, into powerful music that still inspires the world today. And more than 200 years later, his music still speaks. Beethoven broke the conventions of classical music by composing grand and emotionally powerful works. He put all his suffering into his music. In doing so, he ushered in the Romantic era. And this is how this great composer reshaped the history of music forever. If you liked this video, please sign up to our YouTube channel to discover more musicians' fascinating stories.